Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today, joined by
Brett
of Enomyces. Today, checking out our very first WeldWerks beer.
Yes.
Both Brett and I have heard a lot about WeldWerks, but we never got to try any at all. Fairly high brewery. I know a lot of you guys probably know them, but so we got our first one, and we got to give a big thanks to Dalton. If you don't know Dalton, you might have not followed the channel for a very long time, but way back in 2012 when I studied in Albuquerque, New Mexico, he was one of the guys on the channel. Still is one of my friends. He appeared a lot on the channel. We explored, New Mexico together and the beer scene there. Right now he's in Colorado and he's very close to WeldWerks. So he's been able to hook us up with WeldWerks, which is amazing.
Huge champ.
So he went to the brewery, got her to a release, and got bottles for us as well, which is amazing. So thanks a ton, dude. Thanks for doing this, and also thanks a ton for just also adding extras. He added an IPA, and he added what was it? A peach sour or so from a local brewery in Denver, because Denver has a lot of great breweries. So awesome, dude. Thanks so much.
Colorado in general.
Yeah. This is going to be our first version of Medianoche, and we thought we'd start with this one just because it's not got adjuncts or anything, and it's a bourbon barrel, which is what it's kind of known for. So this is the Old Elk Medianoche, and it's aged in Old Elk bourbon barrels from Fort Collins in Colorado, and I think it's very cool that they work with small distillers as well. There's a lot of hype big names in bourbon, but there's a lot of small distillers too, and you're seeing, not just in the States, and also in Europe, like a small distillers revolution, as there's been with beer, where there's like loads of small producers of different kinds of spirits, and especially whiskeys.
And hopefully that also helps the breweries, going forward, having more distillers available to them.
Yeah, having access to a local distiller. This is their first and certainly not last collab, they said. And what is, the basic mash grain for Old Elk, because bourbon has, always different combinations of grains, is 34% malted barley, 15% rye, and 51% corn, which is about 5 to 7 times the amount of malted barley that you usually find in bourbon. So maybe it's going to have a little bit more of a drier, minerally, maybe not minerally, but more like a Scotch-esque character.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a bit more spice maybe than...
barley isn't really spicy, but I don't know.
Yeah, but also there's quite a bit of rye in it.
Yeah. But I'm by no means a bourbon or whiskey
maybe
aficionado.
A bit of, both worlds, like a bit of rye whiskey, a bit of bourbon, and a bit of that Scotch character.
But usually loads of bourbons have more than corn. They also have a bit of rye and a bit of malted barley, I know. But again, as I said, we're not whiskey experts.
No.
It's been aged in 23 months in the barrels as well.
Quite some time.
And it's 4 to 5 year olds Old Elk bourbon.
That's 2 years, man.
It's crazy.
And it is thick.
Look at this.
If
this is what's going on in the States with barrels, I understand why a lot of people are very critical of it. Look at it.
When we poured it out, it was like the most pitch black you can imagine.
It was like the thickest motor oil sludge.
You couldn't see through the actual pour in the glass.
It looked like pouring beer barrel time. It did.
Yeah.
And that's like the best beer I've ever had.
And it coats the glass just like beer barrel time.
It just looks insane. And such a...
It looks like beer barrel time.
Dark head. It does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not that we expect maybe it to be at that level.
I'm keeping
insane.
I've kept my expectations low because I do not have, I haven't had a chance to try any of these Medianoches or any WeldWerks for that matter. So, but let's change that now and check out the aroma.
Yeah.
Man, it smells like brownie batter and fudge.
So fucking good.
Oh man.
Oh, that smells like rye and just brownie batter.
It almost smells like,
that smells so good.
It smells like a BBC light.
Yeah.
It's not as insanely thick and rich and complex.
It doesn't smell as just not as strong.
No, yeah. The problem with this beer, and we haven't mentioned it, there's no statement of ABV. There's no statement of ABV.
No, but it's probably between 13 and 14%. Yeah. That's what we've gathered. Maximum like 14.58 maybe.
Man, this smells so good. My saliva is going. It's that espresso bean. That's they talk about a flavor, the chocolate covered espresso bean. I totally see that. And
but also rye. Like this slightly spicy coffee-esque hint of cinnamon, maybe. Yeah.
It's got like huge vanilla, a little bit of coconut to it as well. But man, it's got that like crazy brownie batter vibe. It just smells
depth, like really deep, like roasted but still sweet, fudgy character.
And like a bit of umami, soy sauce, cherry, woody barrel.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Really like that cherry barrel.
Yeah, me too.
Fudge and rye. Yes.
Like we just had 19 fundamental forces, and that in terms of barrel was also forward, but it was more light and caramelly. This is more deep and rich and charry and woody. But I think it's also the base.
An insane base.
Yeah, I think so.
The base is just like, what was the base? Pouring into these barrels.
It's almost like these pure dark chocolate truffles.
Yeah.
Like when you get these with coca on top and like dark chocolate truffles, it's almost like this, like a dark chocolate ganache. It's so rich in dark chocolate and like fudge.
The richest you can imagine.
Yeah, if you can hear it by my voice, I have a lot of saliva in my mouth because this is making me thirsty.
It reminds me of BBT. In that vein.
Yeah, but just a bit lighter maybe in whatever. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks, Dalton. Wow. I love that it has old school flair too.
This is good because it has spice and rye. And,
I don't think
also sweet and fudgy. I love it.
It has an interesting aftertaste like tart raisins and
no coffee. I think it's coffee.
But I'm also getting like a tart raisiny figgy prune vibe. It's so thick. It is crazy
and
thick.
Lots of like this nutty hazelnut.
Wow.
Like lots of hazelnut.
Yeah, totally. And also like maybe walnut or something like black walnut, as in the beers from.
It's so.
What do they call the walnut beers? Or the Aphrodite.
Yeah, but just much more like.
Yeah, this is much more. This is so intense. We could easily share this with more than we're just sharing it the two of us. You could definitely share this with a few people. This is crazy rich.
Fuck, man.
But it's fun to see because some, how much was this rated?
It's not too sweet. It's not. It's actually because it has that spice and rye.
Spice and licorice and whatnot.
Yeah.
On Untapped, this is not rated
443.
That's pretty good. But the fun thing is like seeing people rating this that drink a lot of beers like this. Like,
it's rated by a lot of people who really tried the crazy.
They must have like a crazy reference because they are
Yeah.
A lot of them has been like 425s. I've seen one, but such a deep coffee character too. Like this has so much coffee, but it's not made
so
with
much coffee, but it's not coffee in it.
And I'm just think about the fact that we have the Doppio Medianoche. That's with like a huge double charge of Blue Mountain coffee and also a Gesha coffee from Mostra. That must be crazy on the coffee character.
It's so thick, man.
It's so thick.
It's like this thick dark chocolate.
Yeah, it's almost like melted dark chocolate, and it has like that bitterness of dark chocolate too. That and slight tart astringency of dark chocolate, and then like so much like I'm totally seeing that dark chocolate cover espresso bean, like dark chocolate, rich dark chocolate, like truffles, like it's
like really truffles. That's
so
a perfect description.
Decadent and rich, but it's not pastry boy sweet dessert.
Not at all. It's not
sweet,
pastry at all.
But it's more like luxuriously rich dark chocolate, and I totally love rich dark chocolate and coffee, rich like darker chocolate.
So much dark chocolate.
So much. It's one of the most dark chocolate forward beers I've had, and it just works so well. And the fact that this is not made with any of these things, it's just pure barrel, which is crazy. Yeah. And the barrel that is there is like so cherry, as you said, it has like a spice, and I think it's maybe not, since it's only 6% rye, I don't think, 15% rye, so it's a good amount, but I think the big part of the spice is the barrel itself, the charred wood, and the fact that it's been there for so long.
But I think so you get a bit of like a rye, but it's possibly it's not, massive.
But it could also be that they put rye in the base beer because it does have a spice. But I think it's also like a big barrel spice, like an oomphy, charry, woody barrel, and like I can see why maybe some people prefer, especially American palates, maybe a bit sweeter,
and a bit more fudgy, vanilla.
But this is so much like dark chocolate, darkest chocolate espresso bean, with a hint of like cigar and tobacco and like it's so like, rich and like dark.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's like the most deep and hefty flavors you can think of.
I love, like, maybe it's also because we're European. We love espresso that's rich. We love dark, chocolate. We love coffee. And like a lot of like, at least.
And also wine,
maybe
like
not
these
just.
A bit more
and maybe,
hefty spices.
Yes, but also maybe not just because, we're Scandinavians. Because this is the other thing Scandinavians love. We love dark chocolate. We love like rich, really dark licorice and really dark, like these really dark, rich flavors. Like if you get served a cup of coffee in Denmark or the rest of Scandinavia, you're going to be like, am I drinking motor oil? If you're not going to a fancy coffee place, but an old school coffee place. You get these
probably only in Italy you really would get like this hefty, thick espresso.
Yeah,
like,
but otherwise in Denmark, if you get a cup of coffee at a coffee joint, it's like heavy roast and it's like really thick, but you get it in a cup.
Yeah,
it's all these like really dense, rich, really dark flavors. It maybe could use a bit of brightness to lift it up. But I think
maybe a bit of vanilla, but
there's some vanilla, but it's not crazy.
I just and again, like we also talked about, like hazelnut. That deep flavors.
It's almost like burnt hazelnut or something.
Yeah, like or toasted hazelnut. But if a European brewery did this, we'd probably call it the best EU barrel aged Imperial Stout.
100%.
We would, and but it's still It's still a step behind BBT for me.
I'm still gonna go fucking 97 on this.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy.
Again, but it tells something about the difference between barrel-aged beers or Imperial Stouts in the EU compared to.
It just shows America's level of these barrel-aged beers are much higher, and that's just how it is. But it also shows how the palate maybe is a bit different because it's so rich and sweet and thick and crazy.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love it.
I am so stoked on the rest of
it. It could have some caramel and vanilla, but I just love these dark, deep flavors and a bit of spice and roast.
But can you see how this also the base, but with the tawny port treatment?
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna love that.
Yeah, I think so.
But people don't love it.
It does have so much heft, but
I think it could. We'll see when we try it.
Yeah,
so this is man. I'm looking forward to more Medianoche because we got 3 more variants to try. So, man, Dalton, thanks for helping us making this happen. You are the man. This was crazy. So, if you guys had a chance to try the old Elk Medianoche, let us know what you thought of it. And yes, I know Reserve is even crazier and more hyped, but that is also a bit more hyped. Costly.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to drink this nonetheless. So, if you guys had this, let us know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And we're going to say cheers and crazy barrel aged stout. And see you guys in another beer review.